What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Critical Overlord here. We're going to be talking about a few different horror topics in this video here today. We'll be talking about Scream 7, I Know What You Did Last Summer, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, weapons, and a lot of other things. Starting off here with Scream 7, Mchale recently sat down with Collider and had this to say about his role, or participation I should say, in Scream 7. He said, "I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe I was there. It came together really quickly. The offer came in and they were like, all right, you're going to be there in a week. I couldn't believe it." Kevin Williamson, he's an effing legend and genius. Nev, she's an Oscar caliber actor and star. You take it seriously. You're doing these heavy drama scenes and you know Kevin's building it in his brain. I try to serve the character that he wrote in those situations and receive direction, hopefully, and listen to it. This makes it abundantly clear that Patrick Dempsey was 100% supposed to be Mark Kincaid. We already know that. But I wish Joel all the best as the Pine Grove Chief of Police, since that's allegedly what his role will be as Sidney Prescott's husband. I don't think I'm going to really connect with Sidney's husband, but I'm open to being proven wrong. I just don't really see this Mark connecting with us as much as we're going to connect with the scenes that go down between Gail and Sidney. Another important takeaway is Kevin did have a hand in writing Mark. If Joel's words are anything to go off of, he explicitly states, I try to serve the character that he wrote. Now, the he in that sense is related to Kevin. So, no surprise there that Kevin Williamson, of course, had a hand in either revising the script with Guy Busick or just maybe even being primary contributor to the rewritten screenplay. Time will tell what they end up doing as far as credits go. I think all the credit will go to Guy Busick, but that's just me. Now, let's talk about weapons. We got some initial praise for weapons over the last day or so. I'll read a couple here. These are all from Twitter. We have a Griffin S who says, Zach Cregger has crafted a horror masterpiece and the best film of the year with weapons. It's Prisoners by way of Magnolia with some of Cohen's absurdist humor, an absolutely brilliant commentary on the attitudes and institutions during the fallout of a communal tragedy. The destructive sensationalism, our obsession with knowing why, our insistence on jumping the blame, and hyperfixating on the irrelevant inhibits our ability to be productive and find solutions so that way the objectively abnormal does not become normal. A chilling masterclass in suspense and POV storytelling that exposes a society with dwindling empathy that tolerates dehumanizing acts. I'm obsessed. This is the one film I won't be able to shake. And we have a Chris E who says, Weapons is an absolute blast. A creepy, funny ensemble piece that takes a Magnolia Pulp Fiction shortcuts storytelling approach to unleash a memorable suburban nightmare. The grand finale had me cackling with twisted glee. Then we have Perry from Collider who said, Weapons rules. If you're looking for a movie that keeps you on your toes from start to finish and delivers the unexpected time and time again, this is it. Now, all of those reactions get me excited, and I'd like to say this is one of those rare occasions where these reactions should be taken very seriously, considering everything that we know went into Weapons, starting with that wild bidding war. And if you've been following me on Twitter, you probably already know this, but pay close attention to your screens when you watch Weapons. There's a surprise cast member, one or two, that hasn't been announced yet. And when they appear on screen during the film, you'll know who I'm talking about. I'm hearing that they are still in this movie. But I'm really excited to see Weapons when it comes out next month. I'm loving these first reactions. And when it comes to the screenplay that many people have read, it looks like they executed it well on screen. And I hope I'm one of those same individuals who can come out on the end saying the same thing. Now, the third act, I think I saw in one of these reactions, they talked about how the ending was a bit wild. Yeah, the ending might be a hit or miss. Might be a weaker spot in the film for me, but I'll just, again, have to see how it's all executed. I'm looking forward to this. Let's dive into Megan 3, I'll say. So, even Jenna Davis, who stars as the titular character in Megan and Megan 2.0, wants 3 to go back to its horror roots. She shared this comment with Comic Book recently. She said, I think I'd love to bring back some of the horror that we had in the first film because I think there was something so funny about that and how eerie Megan was in that first film. I'd love to bring some more horror elements. But again, I'd love to keep her campiness and her comedy. So, we would have loved to see that in the sequel. And I think there's a rumor right now that that's what the plan was with the original writer, Akilah Cooper. So what happened with that, I don't know. Why you guys decided to go down the path of turning Megan into a baby face and introducing Amelia when you probably could have been much more successful and appealed to the horror community a bit better by doing a story with 2 on the loose. Maybe Amelia just comes after Gemma and Katie, helps Megan assemble a new body, and they are the 2 evil dolls that Gemma and Katie and others have to contend with. But no, we didn't do that. We got a this bitch versus that bitch, as the tagline put it. And while it wasn't the train wreck I thought it would be, I knew this was going to lose a lot of people, because that's just not what people loved about the first movie. Yeah, we loved Megan and how she was behaving, but there was still a horror movie unfolding on our screen. You guys went straight to Seed of Chucky like territory and said, damn Child's Play 2, damn Child's Play 3. Like I've stated before, you just went right to absurd levels of genre hopping. But whatever. If they do go back to the horror roots, then they are making the right call. I just don't know how you execute all of that, because then you'd have to worry about the fact that you're undoing character development with Megan. But whatever. Let's talk about Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Sarah Michelle Gellar gave an update on the filming of the Buffy sequel and character returns. She said, we're getting really close. We have to make sure everything is done right, but I will say we are filming very soon. Sarah also made it clear it's important to establish the new characters before just throwing in all of these returning stars, which I loved that comment from her. She also made it clear that Emma is on the list of stars who can potentially return. So, of course, that's our wonderful Anya Jenkins. She revealed all of this to news.com, an Australia outlet. And I'm glad she knows how it should be done, since this isn't going to be about Buffy Summers. But time will tell if the series is executed correctly. Buffy's story has been told, and we're going to catch up with her, but the series can quickly become disjointed if the new lead is severely underdeveloped and unlikable along with the rest of the new cast. Set them up for success and then bring in Anya and friends. Although the only way I see Anya being possible is if you do a callback to the Wishverse and do a Wishverse episode and you have Anya there. That's the only way I can see Anya coming back. Maybe it's a universe in which she never died. We see a Xander cameo. Probably won't see Nicholas at all, but maybe the back of somebody else's head and say that's Xander. But you'll see Anya. But you guys let me know, would you like to see Anya in the Buffyverse or this Buffyverse sequel that we're about to get in the coming years? Let me know all that down below. Let's talk about Scary Movie 6. So Scary Movie 6 is looking to film in Atlanta later this year in October. Now, this came from some Georgia filming sites mentioning that it's shooting at Tyler Perry Studios, which I believe is also where Scary Movie 5 was shot. The jokes in this movie absolutely cannot be watered down, and I will continue to say that. But I'm going to trust the Wayans to go hard like they did in the first two movies. The cast is undoubtedly going to be revealed sometime in August or September. Anna Faris and Regina Hall are all who the diehards care about. But I need to know, who do you guys want to see joining them? And I don't want to hear about Melissa Barrera. That's already a rumored cast member. Don't tell me about the Wayans brothers. Who are some other stars you would like to see in Scary Movie 6? Some new names that aren't being discussed. Because right now, all people care about is Anna Faris and Regina Hall. Which I understand, because they, again, were the heart of that franchise with their chemistry once the Wayans were gone. They kept this series afloat in that fourth film. And then, of course, we saw what happened with Scary Movie 5. I really despise rewatching that film. Now, let's talk about Crystal Lake. Crystal Lake is reportedly going to include one episode of adult Jason Voorhees. Now, this is coming to us from an exclusive report from Dread Central. I don't know how that's going to work, but I'll predict that season 1 ends after Pamela's Reign of Terror. You'll get a time jump, and it reveals Jason didn't drown, and that's it. I don't think seeing adult Jason guarantees we'll be seeing the hockey mask or anything, unless there's something I overlooked in the report that I read. Seeing adult Jason doesn't mean we're going to see Jason in his hockey mask. I think that's a reasonable outcome to consider. Seeing adult Jason probably will be as simple as the show comes to an end and we see somebody across the lake just staring off, watching some other character. That's probably how they'll introduce adult Jason, and then it'll be as simple as that. We won't see hockey mask Jason or anything, but I do trust that season 2 will be shifting into Jason being the primary antagonist. That's what I think will happen. Season 1 is going to be mostly just dedicated to Pamela's unraveling. Then season 2, adult Jason will take over, assuming all the rights issues don't hold them up from being able to tackle adult Jason in Crystal Lake. Now let's talk about I Know What You Did Last Summer. The I Know What You Did Last Summer producer said this to People magazine about Brandy's return. He said, we always in the back of our mind had the idea to bring Brandy back. We weren't sure how we were going to bring her back. The way that she is in the movie is a little different than what was originally planned. We changed it at the last minute to have her and Jennifer do the scene together. It was a very different scene, and I think this was good. Now, remember in a video I just did, like last weekend, I stated that Brandy's cameo allegedly was originally not involving her interacting with Julie. It was Gabriette knocking on the door, and when she opened the door, a bit of confusion to you as a viewer, because of course Tyler didn't make it out of this film, but Gabriette is revealed to have been playing another person related to Tyler. Tyler has a twin, and she was there to finish her sister's work, so that's why she came to Karla's place. That is the alleged other cameo for Brandy. Now, I'm pretty sure going with this one was the right move, but if you went with the other one, I would have completely just been against that. Even though it would have been nice to see Gabriette again, I'm glad you went with this one. But they at least are confirming that there was some truth to the fact that there was another idea for how to give her a cameo. Because again, the alleged other cameo involved her interacting with Gabriette, who was playing a twin to Tyler. But are you guys satisfied with how Karla was included in the narrative? Again, while it was minimal, it still was impactful, which I loved. Jen knocked that out of the park. Now, the last thing we're going to talk about is going to be Five Nights at Freddy's 2, because that trailer just came out this morning as I'm recording. And let me just say, that trailer did not disappoint, because as someone who was completely disappointed by that first film, Five Nights at Freddy's 2 is slowly but surely getting me excited, because the trailer looks like they really listened to the feedback about the first film not being scary, and hopefully when everybody gets to experience this, people will then understand what folks were getting at. The first film just does not seem to capitalize on some of those horrific moments that you can experience in the video game. It just doesn't. It just takes a lot of stuff from the games and then puts them on screen in a very lighthearted capacity. I would love for them to tap into the horror, and it looks like that's what they are doing based off of this very gripping trailer they've dropped. Now, 1 year has passed since the supernatural nightmare at Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. The stories about what transpired there have been twisted into a campy local legend, inspiring the town's first ever Faz Fest. Former security guard Mike and police officer Vanessa have kept the truth from Mike's 11-year-old sister Abby concerning the fate of her animatronic friends, but when Abby sneaks out to reconnect with Freddy, Bonnie, Chica, and Foxy, it will set into motion a terrifying series of events, revealing dark secrets about the true origins of Freddy's and unleashing a long-forgotten horror hidden away for decades. Please check that trailer out. That trailer did not disappoint. It looks like they might even have a lot of stalking sequences with these animatronics. Not that they didn't have some glimpses of that in the first film. They just, again, were not very scary. They just were not very scary. I cannot wait to see how they present these animatronics now going into the sequel, because of how scary the trailer looked. I'm hoping it's not just a case of where they put together a really well-crafted trailer and it's just more of the same lighthearted slop from that first movie. But let me know what you guys think about all this down in the comment section below. If you haven't already, of course, make sure you subscribe, turn on post notifications, so you never miss a video. In the description, I have links to all my social media accounts. I'm on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. You can message me there, of course. Let me know if there are any movies, news, or reviews you'd like me to cover in the future. And with all that in mind, guys, I will see you in the next video.